What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good with y'all motherfuckers? You said you had to work today. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I have to go back to work tomorrow, and I had some free time tonight, so I was just like, F it. I'm about to start in like 5 minutes. There's a lot of dope hip hop albums. Well, let me not say a lot of hip hop albums coming out tomorrow, from Ghostface to Earl. I actually just heard Juicy J's jazz album and shit. That shit was pretty fire. Erica Badu's album's coming out next week. Ooh, nigga, that's the one I can't wait for. Yeah, she got Alchemist too. My day was pretty good today. It was actually pretty chill. I just got back from seeing my sister and my niece about a couple hours ago. Um, Planning out some DJ gigs for next month. You know what I'm saying? I feel like these days off, I just had to get a mental break and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I know tonight I might stay up for a bit just to work on some stuff. I'll probably stay up to maybe like 3 a.m. the latest tonight. Um, yeah, you say you think this album's underrated? I'm gonna discuss my thoughts on Luniz and stuff like that too, because I have a lot to say about this album. Mind you, I was supposed to have done this yesterday, but I was I was doing tries to stream, and by the time I got done, I didn't eat dinner yet. And by the time I finished eating dinner, I got tired, and I told myself, "Yeah, I can do it tomorrow." 'Cause I'm trying to make sure I do a lot of shit before I go out of town tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, but next week. I took next weekend off, so I just said I needed a weekend to myself. Saw Lil Nas X got arrested. He was butt naked in LA. I'm just looking at myself like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. eating some nachos too. I'm about to start this shit. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that's out there just doing their thing and stuff like that. Economy is crazy and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, I can't believe we're almost near the end of the year. Well, let me not say that. To me, I'm just gonna say we don't get to. I won't say near the end of the year. Once it gets like the last 2 months. Let me not rush this year. But this year went by too fucking fast. All right, let me tag in my homeboy who requested this shit. All right, I'm gonna start this shit. All right, what's up, you two? How y'all doing? It's your boy Reg in the building. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all so much for watching this episode of Hip Hop Review. This is actually a request, but you know what I do? You guys know I always like to give my album anniversary and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So give me 1 second. So on this day, August 21st, 2000, I want to say 2001. Yeah, 2001. Juvenile dropped his Project English album. You know what I'm saying? This came out on Cash Money under Universal and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? This is actually his fifth studio album. You know, um, this album was okay. It wasn't really one of my favorite Juvie albums at that time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was alright. It wasn't as good as the G Code or like 400 Degrees and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because this is really when Cash Money was really doing their thing and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? This was definitely when they were doing their thing at their peak and shit like that too. You know, and you know, Juvie was pretty much one of the most successful cats from that label, solo wise. This was known for songs like "Set It Off," um, "Mama Got Ass." You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, you might think it's an ass song, but it's pretty much just talking about how he gets a lot of influence from his like from like the women in his life and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? White Girl with Lil Wayne and Birdman. At that time, he was known as Baby. You know what I'm saying? HB Headbuster. Yeah, this album was okay. This album was okay and shit. You know, I wasn't really too big on this one, but it is what it is. Just want to give an album anniversary. All right. Um, next thing I'm gonna do is to discuss the Billboard charts. This time I'm taking it back to August 21st, 1976. I'm gonna do the top 20 soul singles of that time. Number 20, we got Johnny. Hold up, wait a minute. Number 20, we got Johnny Taylor with Somebody's Getting It. Number 19, we got the Silvers with Cotton Candy. Number 18, we got Boosie Collins with Stretching Out in a Rubber Band. Classic record, one of my favorite funk albums of that time. Number 17, we got Ronnie Dyson with The More You Do It, The More I Like It Done to Me. Number 16, we got the Bee Gees, You Should Be Dancing. Classic song. Number 15, we got Dorothy Moore, Funny How Time Slips Away. Number 14, we got The Whispers, One for the Money Part 1. Number 13, we got John Handy, Hard Work. Number 12, we got David Ruffin, Everything is Coming Up Love. Number 11, we got The Spinners with Wake Up Susan. Number 10, we got George Benson with This Masquerade. Ooh, I love that song. Number 9, we got Tavier's with Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, Part 1. Number 8, we got Aretha Franklin with Something He Can Feel. Number 7, we got Lou Rawls with You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine. Number 6, we got James Brown with Get Up Off of That Thing. You know, number 5, we got War with Summer. Number 4, we got Wild Cherry with Play That Funky Music. Number 3, we got Earth, Wind, and Fire with Getaway. Number 2, we got Casey and the Sunshine Band with Shake, 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 Shake Your Booty. And number 1 is first weekend number 1. The Ohio Plays with Who She Cool. This is actually the last song. I think that was number 1 in the chart. The last number 1 single, if I'm not mistaken, too. So, all right. Now that we got that out the way, let's get to the main event. Like I said before I start, I want to give a quick shout out to excuse me, Donnie Don 115. He had sent a request to do this album. You guys already know. If you guys want certain albums to be talked about, certain shows to be talked about, throw in that donation. I don't accept anything less than a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? I'll get details. I'll give you all details when y'all send what's we want to request. But without further ado, we're going to talk about the Luniz with their second studio album, Lunatic Muzik. This album came out November 11th, 1997 on C Note, which was under New Tribe, which was also under Version. You know, Luniz consists of members Yuckmouth and Numbskull. This album came out with a couple of singles. Give me one second. Singles album was known for are Just Me and You and Hypnotize with Redman. Just Me and You featured Raphael Sadiq. Producers include Christopher Hicks, which was their manager, Eric L. Brooks, Bosco, Mike Dean. You guys should know about Mike Dean. All my Rap A Lot fans, y'all should know. Quincy Jones III, or better known as QD3. Very dope, underrated producer, in my opinion. He did a lot of dope shit over the years for a lot of cats. Most notably, he does some shit for Ice Cube. I know he does some shit for Ice Cube, especially around like the Lethal Injection era. He also done a lot of theme songs too. And he got Raphael Sadiq. You know what I'm saying? A name that is synonymous to R&B music. A name that has been mentioned plenty of times on this channel. You know, he's 1/3 of Tony. You got Redman, which y'all should know Redman also does production too. Smoke One Production and Tone Capone. Yeah. Guest appearances include E40, Be Legit, Too Short and Harm, 8 Ball and MJG, Raphael Sadiq, TK Kirkland, yes, that TK Kirkland, Moke and Steph, Brownstone, Fats Bossy, Mad Max, Papa LQ. You know what I'm saying? Soup G, Three Times Crazy, Sindel, Val Young, Redman, Two Live Crew, and Christian. You know what I'm saying? Christian, they were the R&B group that was signed to Rockefeller. We talked about the album a couple months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, man. Now this is actually the first time I'm actually talking about the Luniz on this channel and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Q. I'm gonna get into that, Q. Stay tuned. I'm gonna be real with you, Luniz. I've not really been the biggest fan of their music like that. I like a few songs here and there. You know what I'm saying? Um, I've heard the Operation Stankonia album years ago, which I'm gonna get my thoughts into that. But yeah, they definitely have a very different style and shit. You know what I'm saying? So Luniz pretty much they were a hip hop duo that was formed in Oakland, California, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? They consist of members Yuck Mouse and Numbskull and everything like that too. They formed in 1992. They formed in 1992 and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And you know they had the love for hip hop and shit like that too. You know they had a love for hip hop and they started writing rhymes together and whatnot. And then pretty much what happened was, you know, they got into a deal with like New Tribe Records and stuff like that, and C Note Records and stuff like that. And pretty much C Note was pretty much the subsidiary of New Tribe. And the Lunis was like the flagship act of that time, you know what I'm saying? So fast forward to July 4th, 1995, they dropped their Operation St. Cola album and stuff like that, which that consists of many singles. Well, not many. He only came out with like two singles though, but one of those songs was called "I Got Five on It," which that was actually my introduction to them, believe it or not. And it's to this day is known as like a weed classic and everything like that too. A lot of people have used that beat and rhymed over it. I'm gonna be real with you. I like the song. I love the song, but I'm kind of burnt out by that song. To be real with you, I've heard that song so many times and shit like that. You know, people referencing it. Like it's a classic song, and of course, you know, for the weed culture, it's definitely a synonymous song and whatnot too. But if anything, I kind of prefer the remix over the OG. You know, the remix featuring Shock G, rest in peace, Drew Down, E40, Spice One, and Richie Rich and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, then that remix went in. Songs like Player Hater, which kind of like a controversial song, which I'm gonna get into that in a minute, and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this album was pretty dope. It was pretty successful. It was pretty successful. It got them. It didn't go platinum until like 5 years later though, but it is what it is. Then fast forward to 1996, they appeared in the movie Original Gangsters. They did like a brief cameo and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Also around 1990, this time they actually got into some beef with Too Short and stuff like that too. They actually got into some beef with Too Short because from what I looked up, there was an issue of it was mostly like a behind the scenes situation with Too Short and their manager Chris Hicks and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much what had happened was that when the Lunas met Too Short, they felt like Too Short wasn't really giving them a lot of respect and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much, you know what I'm saying. What ended up happening was the fact that they had a song "Player Hater," and pretty much in that song, they had a line where they said, "That's why the town got rid of Short." And stuff like that too, because there was rumors at the time that Too Short was ran out of Oakland and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? He was ran out of Oakland, but he said he left Oakland himself, being Too Short. He left Oakland due to some other issues, and especially like with the police harassment at that time too, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then controversy happened when Too Short got into it with KML, KML. You know what I'm saying? Which was like a Bay Area radio station and stuff like that too. And he felt like they weren't promoting his single that came out called his single Cocktails and shit like that, which came from my all-time favorite album, the same name. You know what I'm saying? But they were pretty much playing that shit from the Luniz and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And due to the fact that he had moved to Atlanta, he felt that Oakland was turning their backs on him. And so fast forward to like I think it was like in the summertime. I think like July 95. Luniz and Too Short got into during KML's Summer Jam concert and shit like that too, where there was a fight between their crews and whatnot shit, and that ended up being shut down for the remainder of the show, and they had to shut down the shit early and stuff like that too. It's crazy too because there was like other acts that were scheduled to perform there. You know what I'm saying? Other acts that were scheduled to perform there, like E40, Isley Brothers was scheduled to perform there, and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, Donnie Don, what's up? What's up, bro? How you doing? Yeah, much love. So yeah, they had to end that concert early, and a lot of people want to put more of the blame on Too Short. So Too Short, he came out with that song "That's Why" from the Getting It album, classic album in my opinion. And I talked about this record when we did the review. Like I said, just let you know, I did a review on every short album. I think up to like "Can't Stay Away." So if y'all want to know more about that story, check that shit out. Excuse me. And so pretty much by '96, you know what I'm saying. He came out with that song "That's Why," which pretty much explained the whole beef and everything like that too. Pretty much that was like his version of the same way how Nas's "Last Real Nigga Alive" was what to this song was what to Nas, what this song was just too short. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying. So they went on the air. Both Ludus and Too Short. They squashed the beef on air and stuff like that too, and that ended up making a song on this album with shit like that too, which I'll talk more about that in a minute. Excuse me. And so yeah, that's how this that came together. And then 1997, that's when this album had came out and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is the album cover right here. Pretty much, it got the skull right here being listened to. He's listening to some music and shit. I feel like a lot of cats definitely use this album cover over the years. Not like this album cover per se, but it's like the skull listening to music. To me, it kind of reminds me of the Tales from the Hood soundtrack album cover. I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, man. So this album has 16 tracks and everything like that too. And we're gonna get started with the first track, which is the intro. This features DJ Thump and Meg Megesha Maestro Francis. Pretty dope intro. It just pretty much has a deep distorted voice talking about he wants that music. He wants that lunatic music and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Pretty dope intro, nice way to kick off this album. And then fast forward to track number two, we got this song called "The Highest Niggas in the Industry." This features, excuse me, sorry about that. So this features E40 and Be Legit. Now I'm just gonna warn you guys, this album definitely has a lot of covers or people they're doing their own rendition of classic hip hop tracks and stuff like that too. This one was pretty dope because excuse me, they actually did their own version of Digital Underground's Freaks of the Industry. But this time they called themselves the highest niggas in the industry. And excuse me, and shit like that too, you know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope. Nice way to pay homage to Digital Underground. And it's funny because that's actually my favorite song off Sex Packets too. Rest in peace, Shock G too. Rest in peace to him. You know what I'm saying? E40 and Be Legit, they definitely did their thing and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Track number three, Funkin' Over Nothing, featuring Too Short and Harm. Um, yeah, man. Pretty much, like I mentioned to you before, this was a song that they did after they squashed their beef with one another and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope track. I love the chemistry that they all had together and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I love. I love how motherfuckers can squash beef and still do music with one another and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So Definitely very, very dope. I felt like Yuck Mouth had the best verse on this record and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? With his verse, he was pretty much talking about the whole shit with what happened with how the beefs happened. He said, and I quote, "'Cause some of the niggas wonder why us players do this on the under caught up in some shit I didn't have nothing to do with. The truth is, you know my funk is thorough. It's my funk is through, and they censor that line. So right for a nigga if that nigga ain't gonna do shit. So pretty much, the name that they blocked out was actually their manager's name, Chris, and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much what happened and stuff like that too, and stuff. So yeah, so this was pretty much a dope record. Love this record and shit. Track number 4, "In My Nature," featuring A Ball and MJG. This was produced by Smoke One Productions. Um, very, very, very dope record. Not even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I kind of personally feel that it fits more 8 Ball and MJG than Luniz. It has more of like an on top of the world kind of feel to it, which is not necessarily a bad thing because I fucking love that album. It's actually my favorite album from the duo and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this was pretty dope. I love this one. Next track we got is just just me and you featuring Raphael Sadiq. Um, again, this was pretty much their old cover to like Tony's "Me and You," a song from the Boys in the Hood soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? DJ Quick also did some co-producing on this track right here as well too. You can definitely tell he added some like rhythm elements towards it and everything like that too. Because this is around the time when he was definitely trying to experiment more with the R&B and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this track right here was pretty dope and everything like that. So I ain't gonna hold you. I actually like this track. So yeah, next track we got is called "Game," featuring TK Kirkland. Um, it's pretty much like a little skit where he's talking about how you gotta stay on the game, put niggas on game and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very 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 dope record. Just talking about the game. You can't be a hoe in the industry and shit. Track number 7 we got is "My Baby Mama," which was produced by Tone Capone. Um, Self-explanatory. Just talking about baby mama culture and stuff like that too. This is around the time when that term was actually being more that term was being more popular. They were promoting that baby mama culture and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So the beat, I like the beat because it reminds me a little bit of OC's "The Chosen One" for the Jewels album. But that one was like more melodic. This one kind of had a bit more funkier tone to it and shit like that. So if anything, I kind of like the beat more. If anything, next track is called "Is It Cool," featuring Moke and stuff. I I didn't care for this track. Right, I'm gonna be real with you. They used the same Bernard White sample that LL used for the Lounging remix and shit like that. And they had Moken. It's pretty much a whole bite and everything. I mean, it didn't fit the album. I didn't care for this track and stuff like that. And I love the lounging remix and stuff. But see, that song was not even on Mr. Smith album. It was pretty much just a remix single, like a B side, if that makes sense and shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I need to get my hands on that single, either that single or the LL Cool J's All World Greatest Hits, because that song was actually on that compilation as well too. But yeah, it didn't really fit and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So track number 9, "Sad Millionaire" featuring Brownstone. Brownstone, dope R&B group from the '90s. We talked about this stuff. They were signed to MJ's label and shit. This one was okay. It wasn't really one of my favorites on the album. It was alright. Track number 10, Killers on the Payroll, featuring Fats Bossy, Mad Max, and Papa LQ. Um, Pretty much, this is just like a posse cut and everything like that too, and everything. I felt like Yuck Mouse again. He stole the show with this one. None called. He definitely did his thing, but the thing about Yuck Mouse was that he threw shots at Master P with his verse, and the reason why they kind of have an issue is because Master P he came out with that Mr. Ice Cream Man album back in like '95. Was it '95? No, wait. It was '96. Excuse me. And Yuck Mouth, he pretty much claimed that of the um he was the originator of the Ice Cream Man moniker because he said that in a song he did way back in the day and stuff like that. I gotta look up the song. I gotta look up the song. But when I do that, when I pull up the song name and shit like that, it should also be noted that from what I looked up, that Ice Cream Man moniker has been used a lot. Even before them, people used that shit in the '70s. From what I looked up and stuff like that too, because sometimes people have different ways of saying Ice Cream Man and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So give me one quick second. I thought I wrote it down, but at the same time, okay. So okay, I got the verse and shit. If Rap Genius can get this shit together, okay. I've been the Ice Cream Man since '92. Came coming through in the ice cream truck on triple gold shoes. Fuck them trues. And pretty much like he first said that he was an ice cream man because Drew Down had a song called Ice Cream Man and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Drew Down fucking underrated as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And also there was also a shot at a Dangerous Crew, but I guess he didn't have time to remove the shot and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this song right here was pretty dope. I actually like this one. Next track is Phillies. Self-explanatory. Um, Self-explanatory was they used the Boogie Down Productions Jimmy, like the J, the I, the M, the M, the Y. Before Puffy used that for the D, the I, the D, the D, the Y, the D, all that shit. But Luniz kind of used that interpolation before Puffy and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, um, again, pretty dope. Just an ode to Philly blunts and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So I like this one. Track number 12, Mom Shit featuring Soup G, Three Times Crazy, and Sido. One of my favorite songs from the album. This song and another song is kind of tied up and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They were on some gangster shit with this one. They're on some gangster shit with this one and stuff like that too. Yeah, man, pretty dope track. I love the beat. I feel like the beat was pretty dope as well too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I definitely feel like this track right here was fire. Was fire as fuck, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, there was this one line that what's his name? Soup G said, I'm knowing these suckers can't catch these bodies flowing. Murder so agent, their faces got federal cases closed. And across the game, it ain't the thing. Soup G plus two G's will make them niggas for you to hang. You know what I'm saying? So like, I like the way he said that shit and everything. So next track we got is Why Do Thugs Die? Featuring Val Young. This was produced by Quincy Jones III, QD3, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very, 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 very dope song. This was kind of like a tribute to like the whole fallen soldiers. This is a tribute to most specifically Pac and Biggie. It's kind of funny because Yuck Mouse even says "All eyes on me" in the first verse. He says all eyes on me in the first verse. Ironically, QD3 also produced for Tupac. He produced a song "To Live and Die in LA," which featured Val Young too. So I thought that was pretty poignant. I thought it was pretty poignant to have him doing this song and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And Val Young, man, Val Young is so fucking slept on. It's not even funny and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? She definitely held her own with the vocals. Cause you gotta remember, she used to sing way back in the day, like with people like Rick James and Parliament and Funkadelic. If I'm not mistaken, I think she was on the Brides of Frankenstein. I think she was on that girl group and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, very dope track. Um, Next track we got is "Hypnotized" featuring Redman. In my opinion, my favorite track on the album. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying. On paper, this might have seemed like a weird collab, like Luniz and Redman, but at the same time, both have weed in common and stuff like that too. And Redman actually did a beat to this one. It's funny too because when I first heard this track, I thought like Eric Sermon did this track for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But Redman, he's actually a pretty dope producer. Like he actually produces here and there. And I think he first started producing when he did "There's a Dark Side" and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this track right here, "Hypnotized," definitely definitely a very dope track. I feel like all these niggas like Numbskull, Yuckmouth, Redman, they all did their thing on this one. They're all going back and forth. I love the line Numbskull said, "So high, I'm so high, I feel like I'm wearing a disguise. Superman type up with kryptonite eyes. I know when I'm tripping. I walk out my vehicle, buckle up for safety on my way to get some cheap shit. I'm at the parking lot, sideways on two wheels. Vision is double trouble to me is being real." I mean, he definitely ate at this song right here. And Redman, oh my God, Redman. He had this one line where he says, "For niggas who rock Tim's Gore-Tex or New Wallets, you're facing the cochise of operation. And if you ain't testing, you should study observations. Doctor/patient, leaving mics with lacerations. Love to stay bet with my dogs rolling adjacent. Come on, my God. Fire joint and everything like that too. The beat definitely has like you can definitely tell Redman had that beat from like the Muddy Waters tapes and shit like that, just by the way of those bass lines, the filtered drums and everything. I mean, come on, man, you can't tell me otherwise. And the last, I think it's the last, no, not the last track, or the next track, "Handcuff Your Hoes." Um, wait, yeah, "Handcuff Your Hoes" is the next track. Okay, sorry about that. I had a brain fart. Um, this song was solid for the most part. They pretty much sampled the Slick Rick song "Hey Young World." You know what I'm saying? Which "Hey Young World" that song was also sampled by the Lost Boys for "Love, Peace, and Happiness," coming from this album with the same name. Which I'm gonna be real with you. I kind of liked how the Lost Boys did that. To me, with the Lost Boys, it fit them and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like that "Love, Peace, and Happiness" album is so fucking underrated. Shout out to my boy Immobility One. He did a dope ass review on that album like last week, so check that shit out. Um, Lunas's version, it was pretty solid, but at the same time, again, the beat did not really fit the album and shit. And it's funny too because they were even sounding like Bone Thugs and Harmony in some. So like the way how they were flowing on this track too, they kind of has a Bone Thugs and Harmony kind of feel to it and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I definitely feel that this song right here was okay and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not bad. I fuck with this song heavy, but it's not really one of my all time favorites and shit. And the last track on the album is 20 Blunts a Day featuring Two Light Crew and Christian. What a weird collab on paper. Lunas Two Life Crew and Christian. That is a weird collab on paper. But I'm gonna be real with you. I did not like the song. I'm gonna be real with you. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it. It sounds like some late '80s electro West Coast hip hop dance kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I fucking hate that sound. Well, if it's somebody like Arabian Prince, okay. But it kind of reminds me of that NWA song "Something to Dance To," which I fucking hate that record with the fucking passion and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? If you guys remember that review I did, I never liked that and everything like I never liked that record and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's that. I feel like 7 minutes is way too long for this record. To be real with you too, I feel like it's definitely way too long for this record. Like, yeah, man. I definitely feel like this one. I could have done without this one, in my opinion. I feel like it kind of ended the album off on a weak note, but it's crazy too because they actually had a hidden track. If you guys get the CD, called 11 o'clock news, which that song was fire. I think that was supposed to be for Operation Tankolia, but they put it for this one. That beat, ooh, fire, 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 and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, overall, for somebody who was just the first time listening to this album, not a bad album, not bad. Would I listen to Operation Stankonia over this one? Oh hell yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of like diehard West Coast fans, they love this record, but then a lot of like the general hip hop crowd, they didn't really care for this record like that because I feel like they felt like with this album it was like a more mature for them and stuff like that too. And with an album like this, being that it was mature, people wanted like a I Got Five on it part two or Play a Hater part two. Me personally, I didn't mind the style, the vibe that they were going through with this album because the fact that they stepped their pen game up, especially Yuck Mouth. Well, I feel like Yuck Mouth definitely ate at this album and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of I feel like he was like the MVP. Like Numbskull, he did his thing, but Yuck Mouth, he was just on another different breed and shit. You know what I'm saying? My biggest gripe was I felt like some of the songs production did not really fit this album, especially when they started doing the covers or sampling like well-known hip hop R&B tracks, like the fucking the joint with Moke and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? The Is It Cool? I didn't care for that. The 20 blunts a day. Um, Handcuff Your Hoes was okay. It was okay. I could have Handcuff was okay. Um, Highest niggas in the industry. That was fire. I love that. Just Me and You. I liked it what they did with that one, but like I feel like they could have done a bit better with that part and shit. You know, or just like don't have too many of them because like just have maybe like one or two. I feel like it was kind of overdoing it and shit. You know what I'm saying? So overall, I'm probably gonna give this album a 4 out of 5 and shit. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like it's definitely pretty solid and shit like that too. So yeah, I definitely fuck with this one. I definitely fuck with this one and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. All right, let me see what y'all saying before I head out. I think the reason why they accused Master P of jacking the Ice Cream Man, Monica, that's why they got upset, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I know there was some other shit too that they haven't that they got into and stuff like that, but it is what it is. You said Yuck Mouse took some shots at P on the Godzilla album. I've never heard that album though, but thanks for letting me know. But yeah, Yeah, man, I might just end off right here because it's midnight and I am actually about to rest for the night and listen to some albums because Supreme Clientele came out. Supreme Clientele 2 came out, and possibly there's a 50-50 chance I'll probably review that album this Sunday. Keyword 50-50 chance. Because I am supposed to be going somewhere this Sunday and I am supposed to be seeing some family, so I don't know exactly what time I'll be home, but I don't work until that afternoon Monday, so more than likely I'll probably do the review on that one and shit. Q said you give this album 4 mics. Yeah, I feel like 4 mics. I know the source gave this album 3.5 mics, which I feel like is pretty. Believe it or not, I'm not gonna get mad about that because the source has their issues and shit. Ray said, I'm reviewing Daft Punk on October. You want to join the live? You know what? Yeah, let me know. But I've never actually reviewed a Daft Punk album, so that'll definitely be something different and shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I do got some live shit coming and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm going out of town next week just to get some me time. So I'm trying to do some shit before I go out of town, and even if I do it before I go out of town, I'm going to like schedule the releases and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I'm gonna definitely be on the lookout. I'm gonna definitely make sure y'all be on the lookout because, like I said, I've been working on a lot of great shit lately and everything like that too. Um, yeah, even though the source had a hatred somewhat for the West Coast and South, to be real with you, I won't really call it a hatred and everything like that too, because they actually gave some West Coast and Southern hip hop albums very great ratings. But I just feel like it's sometimes a certain bias and everything. Because there was some albums from the East Coast that got such and such ratings, and I said to myself, I don't know if I really give that high of a rating. I'm trying to get some source issues from the 2000s, hopefully before the year is over. Because I gotta do some more inside the scenes and everything like that too. So y'all definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, man. I hope hopefully thank you, Donnie Don, for the request and everything like that too. I hope you guys know if y'all want some albums talked about, send in a donation and everything like that too. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all motherfuckers later. Peace.